Okay, so this function is asking us to find the inverse and to state the domain of the inverse, or sorry, this question. So to find the inverse, we're going to switch x and y. And we're going to solve for y. So I'm going to square both sides. So that's going to give me x minus 3 squared is equal to 4 minus y. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And I'm going to divide by this negative. So okay, so we know that this is the domain of the original function. But for the inverse function, the range of the original will give us the domain of the inverse. So let's find the domain of this function. Or, sorry, the range of this function here. So to find the range, the easiest way is to kind of graph it or do a rough sketch. We know that it's shifted 3 units up. This negative is going to give us some direction, but we can always just do a t-chart to get an idea as well. 2, 3, 4. I know I have to stop. My highest value is going to be 4 because that's our domain restriction. I could have gone into the negatives up here, but we're good. This will give us an idea. So I'm going to plug in 4 for x. 4 minus 4 is 0 plus 3. So I know my graph starts at 4, 3. I'm going to plug in 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So it's going to give me 4. And I'm going to plug in, I'm going to skip 2 and 1 because we'll have square roots. So I'm going to plug in 0. And that's going to give me 2 plus 3, which is 5. So if I do a rough sketch, I can see that I've got the ordered pair 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. My graph is starting at 3. And then we go over 3 up 4. Over 0 up 5. And you can see it's moving in that direction. So my range starts at 3 and goes to infinity. So my range of the original is going to be the domain of our new function. So just if you wanted to see, if there were no restrictions, the domain would be all reals. But there is a domain restriction up here, which identifies our range, or helps us to identify our range. And then again, so the domain of our new function will be the range of the original. So this graph would be the full graph without that restriction.